Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini is a landmark work in social psychology and behavioral science. Published in 1984, this book explores how people are influenced and persuaded by various psychological tactics, breaking down complex social behaviors into 6 principles of influence. Cialdini's insights have become highly relevant in fields as diverse as marketing, leadership, negotiation, and everyday interpersonal communication. By examining each principle, he sheds light on why people are often persuaded to say yes, offering readers a toolkit to recognize and potentially counteract these psychological triggers. Here's an in-depth look at the core principles and their implications for our daily lives. 1. The principle of reciprocity. The first principle Cialdini discusses is reciprocity, the idea that people are inclined to return favors or kindnesses done for them. This principle is powerful because it operates on a social norm that exists in nearly every culture. When someone does something for us, we feel obligated to give back, whether that means doing a favor in return, making a purchase, or complying with a request. Cialdini illustrates this with numerous examples from research, showing how businesses use small gestures, such as free samples or personalized notes, to activate this impulse. For instance, if a charity sends potential donors a small gift, recipients are more likely to feel obliged to donate. Reciprocity creates a psychological debt, even if the initial gesture was minor, and people often act on this sense of debt. Understanding this principle can be helpful both as a consumer and in business. Consumers can recognize when they're being influenced by subtle gestures that are designed to elicit reciprocity, while marketers can use this tactic ethically to build trust and rapport with their audience. 2. The principle of commitment and consistency. Cialdini's second principle, commitment and consistency, suggests that once people commit to a particular stance or action, they are likely to follow through in ways that are consistent with their commitment. This principle taps into the human need for psychological consistency. Once we've made a decision or taken a position, we feel an internal pressure to behave in alignment with that decision. An example of this principle at work can be seen in the foot in the door technique, where people are asked for a small, seemingly innocuous request first. Once they agree to this minor request, they are more likely to agree to larger requests in the future. Cialdini cites experiments where individuals who first agreed to put a small sign in their yard were later more willing to place a large, unattractive sign as well. This need for consistency can be powerful, making it important to be mindful of even small commitments, as they can influence future decisions and behaviors. The principle of social proof. The principle of social proof reflects the tendency of people to look to others for cues on how to behave, especially in uncertain situations. When people are unsure, they are more likely to observe the actions of others and imitate them, assuming that others' behaviors reflect the correct choices. Social proof becomes more effective when the people observed are similar to the person being influenced or are perceived as knowledgeable or authoritative. This principle has numerous applications in marketing and social influence. Cialdini notes how testimonials, reviews, and popularity indicators, such as best-seller labels, harness the power of social proof. For instance, a restaurant that appears busy will attract more patrons than an empty one, even if the food quality is identical. Social proof can be a powerful tool for creating trends and influencing consumer behavior, as people tend to gravitate towards what others approve of or participate in. Number 4. The principle of authority. People are naturally inclined to follow authority figures, which is the focus of Cialdini's fourth principle. Humans are conditioned from a young age to trust and respect authority, be it teachers, parents, or later, experts in various fields. When individuals perceive someone as knowledgeable or authoritative, they are more likely to follow their recommendations or instructions, often without critical analysis. Cialdini explains that symbols of authority, such as titles, clothing, or professional endorsements, often lead people to comply with requests. For instance, studies have shown that people are more likely to follow orders from someone wearing a uniform, even if it's a simple white lab coat. This principle is why endorsements from experts or celebrities can be so effective in marketing. Recognizing the influence of authority helps consumers make more informed choices, rather than simply deferring to perceived experts. 5. The principle of liking. The principle of liking states that people are more likely to be persuaded by those they like. Cialdini identifies factors that contribute to liking, such as physical attractiveness, similarity, compliments, and cooperation. When people perceive someone as likable or relatable, they are more open to being influenced by them, whether that's agreeing with their viewpoint, purchasing a product, or complying with a request. Salespeople, politicians, and marketers often employ this principle by establishing rapport and showing similarities with their audience. Cialdini illustrates this through studies that show how people are more likely to comply with requests from someone they find charming, attractive, or with whom they share commonalities. The power of liking highlights the importance of building positive relationships and how doing so can increase one's influence over others. 6. The principle of scarcity. The final principle is scarcity, which suggests that people are more likely to desire something that is perceived as scarce or in limited supply. This principle is based on the psychological concept that things become more attractive when their availability is restricted, either in quantity, like limited edition products, or in time, such as time-sensitive discounts. Scarcity works on the fear of missing out, a powerful motivator that can drive people to take action they might otherwise not consider. By creating urgency, companies can persuade consumers to make quick purchasing decisions. Limited time offers, exclusive memberships, and countdown timers are all common strategies that leverage scarcity. Cialdini's discussion of scarcity helps readers understand why they may feel compelled to act on these time-sensitive offers and how to approach them more rationally. Practical applications and ethical considerations. Cialdini's principles have widespread applications in both personal and professional contexts. In business and marketing, these principles help companies influence customer behavior. Sales strategies, advertising, negotiation tactics, and customer service often rely on these insights. By understanding the science behind influence, professionals can create more compelling campaigns, forge stronger customer relationships, and enhance customer engagement. However, Cialdini also emphasizes the importance of ethical persuasion. While these techniques are powerful, they can easily be misused, leading to manipulation or exploitation. For instance, using authority to convince people of misleading information or exploiting scarcity to create artificial demand are examples of unethical applications. Cialdini encourages readers to approach influence with integrity, using these principles to foster genuine, mutually beneficial relationships rather than exploitative ones. Influence in everyday life. Outside of the professional world, Cialdini's principles apply to everyday interactions and decisions. Recognizing these tactics can empower individuals to make conscious, informed choices rather than being unconsciously swayed. For instance, when approached with a seemingly generous offer, one can remember the principle of reciprocity and question whether they genuinely want to reciprocate. Likewise, understanding the effects of commitment can help someone avoid making small decisions that could snowball into larger obligations. Social proof also becomes particularly relevant in an age of social media, where trends, likes, and follower counts are highly visible. Cialdini's insights into social proof help readers critically assess their own actions and reactions to trends, resisting the pressure to conform without personal conviction. Conclusion: Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, offers a compelling exploration of the science behind why people say yes. Through research and real-world examples, Cialdini shows how influence operates across different contexts, driven by psychological principles that shape human behavior. By understanding reciprocity, commitment, social proof, authority, liking, and scarcity, readers gain valuable tools for navigating a world filled with persuasive forces. These insights allow individuals to recognize when they're being influenced, resist manipulation, and use these principles responsibly in their interactions with others. Cialdini's work serves as both a guide to effective influence and a reminder of the ethical responsibility that comes with understanding how to persuade others.